I like to think that my work is quite ethereal, romantic, feminine, highlighting the female form. I think there's definitely an element of escapism and letting go within my work. As photographers, we're always kind of searching for that subject that we really hone in on and actually is something we, align with. My love was definitely in capturing those moments and those emotions, and sometimes I'm not that good at words, so I find my emotions do come out in my imagery. Hello, my name is Francesca Owen. I'm from Queensland, Australia, and I'm an underwater fine art photographer. Me and my sisters were doing a lot of dance at the time, and Mum was always in love with this synchro team in the UK called the Aquabells. I think when we came over to Australia, she was just always searching for a synchro club. So we were doing dance, and then she finally found it in the newspaper advertised. Kind of dropped the dance lessons and went straight into synchronised swimming. When my auntie from the UK would always come over for family holidays, we'd go to Byron Bay, and I remember always being quite fascinated by her love of shooting landscapes on her film camera, and I think that kind of stuck with me. After I finished university, I was kind of in a point in my life where I didn't know which way to turn then. And my old duet partner, she gave me a call, and then she just kind of said, "Do you want to come back, try make the team?" That's kind of where the second leg of my journey with synchronised swimming began. Being in the Olympics and making that team is such an honour as well, and having your teammates there with you, but also having Australia behind you and walking out onto the opening ceremony was a real wow moment for me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to compete on the day for the competition. Because everything didn't turn out for me the way that I thought or hoped it would, there was a void that I felt I hadn't fulfilled, and there was an element of regret. It took me a while to kind of look at the pool in a different space, and to kind of think about picking up or even think about photographing my teammates underwater. But when I did, I didn't realise at the time, but it was such a lovely healing process for me. Being underwater and just capturing those amazing movements in front of you, just that whole creative process was a beautiful creative expression for me, and it was all kind of coming from a place of what I was feeling, and also what the model was also feeling when they're wanting to move in that way. That relationship is really important for the photographer and the model to kind of come and create a seamless shoot at the end of the day. I obviously have these key moments within the shoot where I want the model to be hitting certain points and positions within the water. Okay, so this is the flow for today. At the beginning of the shoot, we'll kind of go through the surface, so doing some tubs like this image here, and then we'll kind of progress into you being slightly more submerged, so that'll be me going back and forth, even using the pool wall to push off to get a bit more movement. And then we'll kind of progress into you going upside down. And then stage 4 is where you're kind of the magic happens. I think the most important part is my job is to direct the model to a certain point, but they're also there because they've got this great talent. So my job is also to, take a step back, be under there with my camera and just waiting for that, that magical moment where you're watching them perform a beautiful dance underwater, and you're purely there to create space for that and to capture it when the time's right. I'm very lucky that I have that experience within that synchro realm, and then that photography experience as well, to know when I want that to happen. So I used to shoot on a Canon 5D Mark IV, so it's been different, but it's been a huge bonus for me. Like with the mirrorless Canon R5, you've got a lot more file information there to work with. With the 35, I love the amount of space that it creates around the female form, and I just find it's that perfect composition and lens where I don't have to be too far back from my subjects while shooting, and whilst also getting the atmosphere of the water as well. So it's my go-to lens for all of my underwater photography. I'll be kind of 3 meters away from you. So I'll be directing you as I go as well. So whenever I'm seeing a position that I really like, we might have a breath, have a break, and then we can kind of redo that again. There's a commercial sense to my imagery, but I feel it's just as important to still be creating passion projects. The Ladies in Waiting series came about by the girls leading up to the Tokyo Olympics, the new and upcoming Olympic synchronised swimming team. The whole concept was the waiting of the games, the postponement of the games. So I had like elements of the shoot where they'd be sleeping on the bottom of the pool to kind of awakening and drifting up to the surface. To be honest, I was really nervous going into it. Like, it was such a privilege to me to be able to photograph these girls at this time. Then for the images to be shared in Vogue and on billboards around Australia, and for the girls to also have that name of being in Vogue. It was such a lovely feeling for me to capture that moment for them and to kind of look back at my time as well and to really realise the two worlds of my photography and with my synchronised swimming had merged. For me to have this vehicle now, I still get so much joy out of that creative process.